Hey guys, it's Aaron the host for mobilereviews8.ca, and today we're going to do a review of the Moto 360, an Android Wear device that has a circular face. The Moto 360 looks quite similar to a normal watch, which some people would prefer over some of the more pronounced looking devices like the Samsung Gear S. If you're looking for a smartwatch that offers above basic features that can be customizable, the Moto 360 is worth a good look. However, the entire user experience of the 360 is lacking when compared to other smartwatches, as it seems to get in the way of itself and it's not a good fitness device. Based on my time with the Moto 360, I've given it a score of 3.3 A's out of 5. I like it a little better than the Pebble Classic, but it doesn't hold up quite as well to the Samsung Gear S or the Apple Watch. If you'd rather read the review, check out the website. If you need more smartwatch reviews, find it in our smartwatch section on our website. Links are in the eye or in the description section below.
Real usage, real reviews. mobilereviews8.ca.
At mobilereviews8.ca, we base our reviews on actual usage, so we'll use them out in the wild, so it's not in a sterile environment where we just unbox it and stare at it and say, yay, good. The most important thing that I do, I think, in my opinion anyways, is actually compare it against similar products. So this is a Samsung Galaxy Gear S, and I've compared it to the Moto 360, and I generally like this thing better than this thing, but none of them really come close to the Apple Watch. Just my opinion, though. In terms of design, the Moto 360 wears fairly well. The device didn't suffer any major scratches throughout my test period, and any sort of grease grime on the back that shows up can be easily cleaned up. This Android Wear smartwatch isn't the most comfortable smartwatch to wear, as the sharp edges of the device have a tendency to get caught on clothing, and the rounded edges of the watch protrude far enough out that it's quite noticeable during any exercise that requires a bit of wrist movement. Now, in terms of aesthetics, I didn't really think much of the look, but some people really like the circular face. My dad didn't like it either, and this is what he had to say about it.
A big con facing you,
Now, one of the Moto 360's greatest benefit is the ability to customize the look of the watch. There are tons of different watch faces you can download, and if the watch is on the device, almost looks like a real watch. To take the customization steps one step further, the default straps on the 360 can be removed and other watch straps attached. Now, in terms of durability, the Moto 360 has a battery that will last a day. Charging the watch is simple. All you have to do is put it in its cradle, and then the easy-to-read nightstand watch face comes up. In a pinch, you can take a friend's Apple Watch charger to charge your Moto 360 as well. In terms of scratch protection, the 360 is covered in a sheet of Gorilla Glass 3, so everything short of sandpaper will not leave a mark. The smartwatch isn't waterproof, so don't go swimming or showering with it. Now onto the functionality portion of the review, which is going to be the longest part of this review as I talk about, the UI, the functionality, the practicality, the customization of the software. So before we get to that, if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe. I produce content 2 to 3 times a week, so it's something new every single week, and I put a lot of effort into it, and I promise you won't be bored. Subscribe. Connecting to the Moto 360 is done through the Android Wear app and Moto's own Connect app. Like the Apple Watch, the 360 requires an Android phone to pair with, so you won't be able to run this device on just a desktop. In terms of third-party apps, you can easily download additional apps from the Google Play Store, so you can easily customize what you see and do on the 360. In terms of handling, I found the Moto 360 touchscreen just a little too sluggish for my liking. It's not slow, but it doesn't always register swipe, so it gets a little annoying at times. Now, I'll be honest with you, this isn't something that I really noticed until after using the Samsung Galaxy Gear S as well as the Apple Watch. The one button on the 360, for the most part, is useless. It seems like Motorola looked at a normal watch and said, the watches have little knobby things, so we need to have that knobby thing too. Depending on how your wrist sits on the watch, there's a chance that you can constantly turn the screen on and off, which ties to how uncomfortable the 360 is at times. The viewability of the touchscreen is quite nice and works well in all light conditions, though some apps will not show completely because it gets cut off to the circular face. The UI for the Moto 360 needs a bit of work, in my opinion, as it's just a notifications hub, and the notifications generally get really annoying because it's always in your face. It takes up a good portion of the watch face, and if you're using a different kind of watch face, you won't be able to tell what time it is for certain parts of the day. Awesome. I think the UI would greatly benefit from having a dedicated notification area like on the Samsung Gear S and the Apple Watch. Again, it's really just a notification hub. Whatever notifications show up on your Android device, it's just going to show up on your watch. There isn't a whole lot of other stuff it can do. I tried a fitness app called Vimo Fit, and that was the idea is really cool. It'll track your movements, but other than that, it's not going to do much. The actual notifications themselves are quite nice, as each one will be slightly different. It's a nice added feature to see a person's picture, as they're adding you on Instagram. You see their avatar in the background, but it doesn't really add to any value of the actual smartwatch. It just looks nice. The best part of these notifications is how easy it is to open the corresponding app on your Android device. Swiping over and pressing open and it opens up on your iPhone. Kind of wish the Apple Watch had this feature. Using the software in the 360 is a little bit clunky, as it took me a while to get into the right mindset for the watch. Unlike the Apple Watch and Samsung Gear S, you don't have an app interface. To find the right app, you have to tap once, scroll through a ton of useless options until you find Start, and then select an app that you want to use. 360 is smart enough to put 2 of the recently used apps at the top of the menu, which helps with the access. And yes, you have to use Start to find apps. Doesn't that seem odd to you? In terms of sensors on the 360, you have an accelerometer and a heart rate sensor, but no GPS. Any sort of GPS functionality comes from the paired Android phone. The heart rate sensor is a little finicky as well. It doesn't track your heart rate as well as other smart watches, and I found that under sweaty conditions, the heart rate sensor doesn't always work. Now, if you're looking to get the 360 as a fitness device, I would actually stay away from it. I had a lot of issues in terms of the activity tracking. The Motorola has their own Moto body software, and like it tracks it differently than like the Google Fit stuff. So it'll be slightly different, and it's coming from the same device. So I really don't know which one is right, which one is wrong. Again, as I mentioned just a couple seconds earlier, the heart rate thing doesn't always work, especially when I was really sweaty. And so if you're looking for a fitness thing, I'd actually maybe take a closer look at the Fitbit Surge, something that is kind of really dedicated to just tracking your fitness. In terms of overall practicality, I found myself using the Moto 360 the least out of the Samsung Gear S, the Apple Watch, and like even the Fitbit Surge. I think I used a little bit more than I did the 360, because this is really just a notification hub. You know, you have notifications on your Android device and it just spits them out to your watch, and it's not that useful. It's the same information in 2 different places, and your phone's probably going to be on you or very close to you. So it's like, yay. Lack of usage, and then you add on the little annoying parts about it getting caught on your jackets and your pants and stuff. It just makes the device really annoying to use, in my opinion. So I would take a close look at the smartwatch. If you like to be eclectic in what you look or what you wear, you can customize the watch face, you can customize the wrist strap. It has an actual smartwatch. I would take a closer look at stuff like the Samsung Gear S or the Apple Watch. So that's kind of all I got. Again, gave it a score, 3.38 out of 5. You got any questions for me? Leave them in the comments section below. I'm Aaron the Home. Find me on Google+, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, also on YouTube, which is probably where you're watching this, or on my website, but it's still YouTube. All right, thanks.